Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Soul with another Shadowlands coverage thingamajigger video. These are the sponsors somewhere in whichever direction. And Blizzard had just released the Shadowlands preview for Revendreth, one of the zones that's going to be testable in the alpha shortly, even though presumably Revendreth is going to be the final zone that we'll be playing in before we hit max level, and then we suffer in Torghast for the rest of our days. So I'm going to be reading through this. I'm going to have a link below to the article, but of course I'm going to have it here on screen so we can read along together. All right, so here we go. In Shadowlands, Azeroth's heroes journey into the realm of the dead after Sylvanas Windrunner tears open the veil between life and death. As they explore 4 otherworldly zones, Bastion, Maldraxxus, Ardenweald, and Revendreth, players will meet the covenants that rule the afterlife realms in the Shadowlands. Your final destination in the narrative arc is the shadowy realm of Revendreth. Confirmed! Woohoo! Okay, welcome to Revendreth. You arrive with urgent news for Sire Nathria, the master of Revendreth and ruler of the Venthyr. The realm is in the midst of a rebellion caused by the anima drought that swept over the Shadowlands. The only thing more meaningful than your survival is your discretion. You've walked into a den of secret keepers, who are all ears as much as they are all teeth. If you're to deliver this message and save these lands, you must play court and trust your instincts, for the Venthyr don't always mean what they say, and your new fickle friends can quickly turn into formidable foes. All souls who are sent to Revendreth receive a sinstone. Any misdeeds you've committed in life are inscribed upon this tombstone along with your true name. Keep its location secret and do what you must to purge any vile thing etched upon it. Well, that's interesting. How many of us have had like bigger stones than others? Get it? Stones. Okay, anyway. Place of Pride. Revendreth is made up of 7 distinct districts, each presided over by a harvester, powerful Venthyr who have upheld the ways of this place since creation to encourage spirits to repent for their past sins. Those who are successfully reformed are presented with a choice: return to Oribos to be sent on to another afterlife, or remain in Revendreth and become one of the Venthyr. As for those who resist redemption, they're banished to the Maw. Some of the Venthyr's practices are questionable, but be warned, dissenters disappear in these dark lands. So it's interesting how there is a relationship between all 4 of these big shadowy Shadowlands realms, and how essentially it's like a system. You go through Revendreth, you go through Purgatory, redemption, and that sort of thing. And once you do, you go to Oribos, and then you're reassigned, you're retasked somewhere, presumably over to Bastion, so that you can get a job, turn blue, and be stuck in servitude for the rest of eternity. No big deal. Anyway. Home to the most decadent Venthyr, loyal to Sire Nathria, the Castle Ward is dangerous to any who are unwilling to side with the Master. The nobles who reside in the Inner Citadel are the oldest Venthyr and have earned their place in the shadow of the Master and are kept in order by the Countess, Harvester of Desire. When greeting the Master, show your respect by addressing him by his honorifics: Sire Nathria, Master of Revendreth, King of the Venthyr, First-Blooded, Commander of the Stoneboard, and the Fangs of the Shadowlands. First is his name, the Unbroken, the Unchained, the Breaker of Chains, the Breaker of Wheels, and etc., etc., etc. Very good. And in this screenshot, see, hail a carriage to enjoy a tour of Revendreth while you rest your weary feet or hooves. This has an immediate feel of, oh goodness, Blackrock Hold. Foggy, misty, dark, very monotone in the color, very little lights. It has that sort of feel to it, except it's inhabited by a bunch of dead people. So, good job. Ruled over by the Fearstalker, Harvester of Dread, the Forest Ward is comprised of hunting grounds where the Venthyr leech pride in the form of anima from their victims. Extraction is simple: give victims a sense of hope and freedom and then hunt them down. A harsh lesson in humility. God, these people are sadistic little, mother effers, right? So they hunt their own prisoners or whatever for like sport. right? It's like, hey, prisoner, you know, go out there. You're free now. I'm free, really? Oh my god, yeah, let's go. And then they're like, all right, arm up, boys. It's time to do some hunting. That sort of thing. Fun. The first steps of Azeroth's champions within Revendreth are in the village ward, Darkhaven. Lorded over by the Harvester of Envy, this humble hamlet is full of wishful dredgers and Venthyr who aspire to be welcomed into the aristocrats residing in the castle ward. Downwind of Castle Nathria, its citizens look on enviously as they toil away in the refuse of soul waste and desiccation of reality while the anima drought decays this place away. So this place feels like it's going to be big. It's like we're walking into Suramar, like a big city-state, you know, with multiple locales centered by this large looming area full of the elite. So this is going to feel, this is going to have a bit of familiarity to it, maybe. All right, Castle Nathria. Looming above all is Sire Denathrius' fortress, Castle Nathria, which is the upcoming raid, by the way. This ancient stronghold houses the Master, his loyalist, and, if you listen to the traitorous rebels, something sinister that could shatter societies across the Shadowlands. Ooh, this if it looks like Suramar, or you know, it gives me that sort of vibe, except you know, Castlevania kinds of stuff. And no doubt those gargoyles will come to life and totally beat your face in. Absolutely. All right, Revendreth's inhabitants. Meet the denizens of Revendreth. Sounds so pleasant. Starting with the Venthyr. The vampiric Venthyr are the punishers of the unworthy and seek to rehabilitate the sinful souls sent to them by the Arbiter. Souls who are successfully rehabilitated are either sent to another realm to serve for eternity, or may choose to become a Venthyr and continue the cycle as an instrument of repentance. So once you're beaten down so many times, you're like, oh my god, I want to be one of them too. Like, they break you, for sure. That's how it feels. Alright, the Stone Legion. Carved by the Stone Rite and infused with anima, vigilant Stoneborn serve their masters as soldiers with a sense of infallible loyalty forged over a lifetime of fighting side by side. Alright, so it looks like there's different kinds of Stoneborn. Okay, Stoneborn. These brutish gargoyles fight off the Venthyr's enemies with an array of martial weapon skills to bludgeon enemies or use their unparalleled mobility to outflank them. And I guess that's these light-looking guys. Gargons. Chiseled in the images of things that go bump in the night, these vicious quadrupeds prowl the cobblestone streets of Revendreth to maintain order by fear or force. And Dreadbats. Patrolling the skies, Dreadbats dutifully alert their Stoneborn brethren to attack intruders, but are more than capable of turning adversaries into lifeless huskuses. Excellent. Alright, the Dredger. Oh, they're cute. Look at me. Wah, I'm a dredger with... Dude, those hands are huge. Look at them. It's like they have a bicep, right? It's like they have an arm, but instead of like a forearm or whatever, it's just their wrist. Like that's kind of it. That's pretty nice. Anyway, Dredger. Born of the primordial muck, this brow-beaten workforce serves the Venthyr with a can-do attitude for any menial task, from sweeping floors to sacrificing themselves for entertainment. They certainly give that kind of vibe. Okay. And Sire Denathrius, the master of Revendreth, the calculating and methodical Sire Denathrius created the Venthyr in his likeness, forging them from the souls of the redeemed. Ancient beyond measure, the founder of Revendreth is one of the most powerful beings in all of the Shadowlands. He beseeches Azeroth's champions to help him quell the rebellion that threatens to destroy their way of life. I won't spoil anything, but this is going to be, this is an interesting looking character. Oh, but there are more characters. Prince Renethal. Once a popular courtier within Denathrius' court, Prince Renethal was the first Venthyr crafted by the Master's own hand. But all that changed when the anima dried up. Convinced that the Master is behind the drought, he rallied a formidable force to lead a rebellion to succeed Sire Denathrius and make the anima flow once more. But one has to wonder if Prince Renethal might prove to be no different than the tyrant he seeks to overthrow. And then we have General Draven. Once leader of the Stoneborn, General Draven turned his back on his kin to lead Prince Renethal's forces against Sire Denathrius. Whose side might we take? These are but a few of the entities you'll encounter in Revendreth. While adventuring, it's best to stay vigilant. You might even cross paths with long-past heroes of Azeroth who now wander this world. Like Anubarak. Duh. Alright, the Venthyr Covenant. When players reach max level and have explored the first 4 zones, they'll be able to pledge themselves to a covenant like the Venthyr. Each covenant offers its champions abilities, along with other powers and cosmetic rewards that can be unlocked through a covenant campaign, an epic storyline unique to the faction. This alliance also gives the player access to a covenant sanctum, a hall only open to players who have forged a pact with its rulers. The power of the Venthyr. If you choose to join the Venthyr Covenant, you'll gain 2 unique abilities. One class ability used in combat, as well as a signature ability to explore the world in a new way. Here is the signature ability that the Venthyr bestow upon their champions, Door of Shadows, when through the shadows, appearing at the targeted location. To give you an idea of what to expect, you can view a list of the Covenant signature and class abilities. Please keep in mind that all these are a work in progress and may have additional changes during the course of development and testing, so all abilities shown are subject to change. Soulbinding. When you join a covenant, you'll be able to undergo an ancient rite to bind your soul to some of its most powerful members. By doing so, your character harnesses their power, gaining access to powerful bonuses. Over time, you can unlock new tiers of power and even switch soulbinds when strategy demands it. Venthyr Covenant Spoils. For your contributions to the Venthyr Covenant's cause, you'll be rewarded with several cosmetic rewards including a mount, a pet, Venthyr forged armor, and back attachments that will turn the heads of even the most aloof Venthyr. And Armor Up, don specifically crafted armor forged in the fires of Revendreth. And these look pretty cool. They kind of, they have a really distinct look among them. It's like you look at one, it's like, okay, Revendreth. And then you look at another one, it's like, okay, what tier is that? Oh, that's Revendreth too. Okay, I'll take that. But I like how they have, like between the cloth, plate, and leather, how they have very separate looks. They look pretty distinct from one another. Instead of just seeing like, oh, this is Uldir gear, and how that kind of has the same vibe to it. There are more mysteries yet to unravel in Revendreth, and not all is as it seems. What the Master says is one thing, and the reality is another matter entirely. As one of Azeroth's greatest heroes, it falls to you to shine light upon the truth. And here's some spoilers incoming. I'm going to go through this. So if you don't want to, if you're not interested, bye! But anyway, in 3, 2, 1. Alright, Halls of Atonement, dungeon, and story spoilers inside. The Halls of Atonement were once a pinnacle of redemption for the most prideful of souls. However, due to recent events, they've fallen into darkness and succumbed to forbidden magics. This is going to be a level up dungeon, very cool. And let's go over some of the bosses. Halkias, the sin-stained Goliath. Halkias, there you go. Halkias, a massive golem infused with sin and anima, has been awakened by the depraved Venthyr's machinations. The Lord Chamberlain's forces have struggled to contain it, splitting its anima across multiple sinstone golem shards. The Echelon. The Lord Chamberlain's right hand, Echelon is a veteran Stoneborn soldier commanding legions of minions in the Chamberlain's name. High Adjudicator Elise. Within the Halls of Atonement, HOA, Halls of Agony, Halls of something, God. Past the courtyard and gargoyles is a church unlike any seen on Azeroth. The High Adjudicator presides over a congregation of spirits, separating sin from form and storing anima within the vessels of atonement. Did I say Adjudicator or Adjudicator? I meant to say Adjudicator. Alright, and Lord Chamberlain. The Lord Chamberlain deposed the High Accuser and wrested control of the Halls of Atonement through deceit and cruelty. Restoring the Accuser's rightful command will go far in returning stability to Revendreth. Then here's a look right here. I think those are probably NPCs over here on the side, not just like statues, which look like pretty darn cool. And that's pretty much it for the preview. So this looks really neat. I was hoping as I was reading through that there was, when they were talking about soulbinds and such, that we were also going to get a preview of how soulbinds were going to work. But in the meantime, look at those eyes on this guy. In the meantime, this looks Oh, this looks remarkable. I'm really digging this look right here. I have a feeling that it's going to be kind of like Suramar. This right here is Castle Nathria. That we'll be able to see from the outside, but we won't be able to go into certain areas. It's going to be reserved for the raid, like the courtyard. It's going to be part of the raid, kind of like how like I said, in Suramar, certain outdoor areas of the Suramar area are they're just full of raid mobs. They don't really serve any purpose other than to kind of illustrate, hey, yeah, this is part of the raid. I'm going to be interested to see like how the relationship is going to work between the surrounding areas and then the central area, because it's going to have, it feels like it's going to have like this big political, you're going to see intrigue, political betrayals, violent betrayals, and other such things. This whole hunting grounds I find totally hilarious. It celebrates the fact that Revendreth is like this aristocracy of these elitists who run the show, and they want to run things in their own way, and in the meantime oppress everyone. But this was a cool preview. I really enjoyed reading this one, and that's going to be it for now. So let me know what you think of this particular zone. What do you think of Revendreth? What do you think of the Venthyr? Do you still plan on signing up with the Venthyr and getting a hold of some of this sweet armor stuffs here? Or not? Or does it suck? So let me know your thoughts in a comment below. And otherwise, let's get out of here. I'll see you later. Until then, though, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.